Atheism is the dumbest philosophy to ever face humanity. Why is it dumb? Why is it stupid?
Usually I let a video play the entire length before I start correcting it, but this one is filled with so much, I'm gonna have to break it up piece by piece. So let go.
Is it stupid? Well, number one, it makes no common sense. We all know that the universe had an origin. There was a time when there was nothing. And we all know it's not possible for nothing to create something. You have to have someone outside the universe make it.
Well, it's quite evident that what he calls common sense is not quite common knowledge. So the basis of this first part of his argument is the fact that the universe started out as nothing, that the universe has an origin. Well, that absolutely is incorrect. There's absolutely very few scientists who would say that the universe came from nothing, but that the universe is in a cycle, that there is a death of the universe and there's a rebirth of the universe, that there's a singularity that we can demonstrate singularities that happen today, that we can see how the universe and how stars and gases and nebulas and galaxies are created. So as far as the known universe, there is no beginning of the universe in itself, the beginning of what our known universe is. And our known universe is simply a cyclic process. So that part, as far as there has to be a beginning, there is not a beginning, it's eternal. The universe is eternal. The other part is saying that you know that you can't make nothing, you can't make something out of nothing. But that's exactly what you're saying based on your God. Your God, who is, you are saying, has stepped outside of the universe. So how can your God be outside of the universe if the universe is nothingness? You see, that makes no sense. You know, for there to be a universe and your God outside the universe, and then for your God to create within that universe, means that there was something already there. There was already matter was already there. The protons, electrons, neutrons, dark matter was already there. So that in itself is incorrect. But let's just say you're saying that your God created out of nothingness, created the universe. So your God was dwelling within nothingness, but your God was something. So therefore, what created the something of your God? Of course, you're going to say eternal, in the same way I say that the universe in itself is eternal. But we also know in science that something cannot be created out of nothingness, because there is no such thing as nothingness. Matter exists at all times.
And why atheism is dumb and stupid and foolish is that it's bankrupt morally. Atheists have to try to grapple with, where do we get our sense of ethics and morals? And before you know it, atheists, they adopt a morality based on natural evolution. So what happens is, in the end, unborn babies that are weak and unprotected, slaves that could not fight for themselves, minorities that could not defend themselves. It's too bad.
So this argument is easily refuted, because when you look at our prison society, the overwhelming majority of people that are in prison are those who claim to be Christian, those who believe in the Christian God. Whether you say that they are true Christians or not doesn't matter. It's the mere fact that they claim to be Christian. And then he goes on to say that because atheism, we have to grapple, not we, because I'm not actually an atheist, but atheists have to grapple with where they get their moral centers. Atheists and agnostics, or hermetists like myself, we don't grasp where we get our morality from. We get our morality from the fact that we would never treat someone unkindly because we don't want to be treated unkindly ourselves. But even at that, we get our morality from the culture to which we live in, the state, the laws that are already in place, which is where all laws come into place, come into being. When the first 2 or 3 people decided that they were going to live together in a community, that's when laws and morality start to become a thing. Laws and morality did evolve, but not evolve as the survival of the strongest, but evolve because people decided that they wanted to commune together, and that's where laws and morality began to come from. Now, as far as him saying that with the atheists you get the killing of babies, and you get the slaves who can't defend themselves, and the minorities who can't defend themselves, let me remind you, oh great white man on the screen there, that it was not the atheists who started the transatlantic slave trade. It was not the atheists who started the trans-Sahara slave trade. It was not the atheists that enslaved the Britons when the Romans came and conquered and enslaved Britain and enslaved much of Germania. It was not the atheists that from Japan that enslaved the Chinese. It was not the atheists that were the Dahomey that's enslaved the Wayuda. It was not the atheists who enslaved other people. People in themselves had a tendency for a time frame to enslave other people at all times throughout history. It is only in modern day that we have decided that slavery is something that should be abolished, but more times than not, it is religion that has persecuted people and allowed for slavery. Go back and read Leviticus 25 in your book, where it tells you that you can make slaves of those foreigners and the foreign nations among you. So, and they are your property. It is not atheists that created slavery. It's y'all. And who created Jim Crow laws? You talked about minorities in America. Who created the Jim Crow laws? Who created the Anti-Chinese Act? Those were all Christians. Yeah.
In the end, it's only the strong that should survive. So everyone else is weak and sickly, should all die and go by themselves, you know? So we have atheism that is weak morally.
No, that's only in the animal kingdom. Are you saying that atheists aren't humans?
We have atheism that is weak morally. Communism is the natural outgrowth of atheism. Because with atheism, there is no freedom. Because to an atheist, they're the smart ones, and they should rule the dumb ones. So there's an elitist mentality that forms within atheism. It's an arrogant philosophy. It's a philosophy where people don't have freedom because people are too stupid to exercise that freedom. And to an atheist, they must tell the society how they must live and what they must believe in. And so in atheism, when it is practiced, we have seen terrible outcomes.
Obviously, this gentleman is absolutely incorrect. The natural outgrowth of atheism is not communism. We have seen in history where, whether you're looking at communist China or you're looking at North Korea or anything like that, or the USSR when I was coming up as a kid, sure. You can look at atheism and say that the natural outgrowth is communism and look at the terror, but is that really atheism, or is that atheism mixed in with totalitarian dictatorship? Because obviously this man does not understand history in itself. Because at the same time, a person could claim that when Christianity becomes a theocracy, then the same applies. The mistreatment of people. People telling other people that I'm smarter than you and I'm telling you how you should live and how you have to live. Least we forget, all of Europe going through its time frame of the monarchies as well as the advent of the Pope, and how the state controlled religion and the religion was controlling the state. And therefore, anyone who was not Christian was persecuted. Therefore, anyone who did anything that the church decided was heresy was killed or murdered. They were punished. But Galileo said that the earth was not flat, that the earth was not the center of the universe. And not only did they imprison him, but they threatened his children, his daughter. Isn't that the same type of mindset? When you look at the Inquisitions, the millions of people who died through the Inquisition, the people who died during the Spanish Inquisition, during the witch trials, all of these people died because they were attacked by religion during a theocracy. You see, coming to America, initially it was the colonists was under the theocracy of the British Crown, and so they pillaged and raped and murdered the people, the indigenous people. They forced slaves into Christianity. The 5 civilized tribes had to convert over to Christianity in order for them to receive somewhat fair treatment or even some land. And when they received the land, they were later told they had to go away from that land. You see, a theocracy has created more death on this planet than any other form of government. So, and that is per capita based on the number of people who are alive in there today, just because we got more people today. And so don't try that statistic number, but you know what I'm talking about. So atheism is not this big evil. Religion is the big evil. Religion is the thing that has created more turmoil, death in people's lives than anything else. So this man is just going half crazy. This is why most of his video, he's not able to get his thoughts together, because he knows that he's just telling lies. He's a lying ass liar. But tell me what you guys think. Have a great day. Remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.